Shalom from Israel. Today I am pleased to present just a taste of Wizo's work on the ground in Israel in Corona times. In March, when all the daycare centres shut, just 4 remained open at the request of the government. These were Wizo daycare centres operating in hospitals in Jerusalem, Ashkelon, Rishon LeZion and Tel Aviv. They stayed open solely to care for the children of the doctors, the nurses, key medical staff working to save lives. As Wizo youth villages and schools also closed, Wizo aided hundreds of families who had fallen on hard times, enabling them to buy food and other necessities. Most of Wizo's 6,000 strong workforce took unpaid leave. Yet many Wizo caregivers volunteered to keep in touch with parents and children through these times through WhatsApp, sending videos, telling stories to raise morale and provide support. Many Wizo teachers also volunteered, tutoring students remotely. Thousands of Wizo volunteers mobilised, turning their local branches into distribution centres, packing and delivering food and supplies, assembling care packages for the neediest members and those living alone in the community. As Pesach approached, Pesadiki foods, wine and matzah were also distributed. In our Wizo Parents' Home, the 105 aged resident was shielded by compassionate staff who rigidly adhered to health ministry guidelines. Lockdown meant no family visits, but the residents aged between 70 and 105 were kept well entertained and safe. Wizo's telephone lines played a vital role, giving professional advice to parents coping with children, to women in need of legal advice, and even counselling for men who were at risk of being violent. The volume of calls increased dramatically through these tense times. The corona crisis caused a spike in the incidence and severity of domestic violence. Wizo quickly established a national emergency shelter to provide immediate refuge to women and children fleeing from violent homes, where they could quarantine for 14 days before entering one of Israel's regular shelters. This emergency shelter opened in May and filled up immediately, and since then has provided urgent need, refuge and therapy for over 40 abused women and more than 70 children. After lockdown ended, Wizo faced the logistic challenge of opening its educational facilities with new and stringent health and safety guidelines. This was done in stages. Special education services were opened first, studying in shifts, with strict social distancing, wearing masks at all times, constant temperature checks to keep children and staff well protected. In our youth villages, students returned in small groups with numerous restrictions and requirements in place to ensure their safety. We reopened the daycare centres for Wizo's 15,000 children to enable working mothers to return to the workplace. All this required meticulous planning as well as huge investment in personal protection items, disinfectant, hand gel, etc. Wizo launched the Wizo Protecting Our Children campaign, which has been very well supported by the federations. Sadly, coronavirus is far from over in Israel, and Wizo continues to do everything in its power to lighten the load on Israeli society. As we say, Wizo doing what matters, and you too are doing what matters, and I thank you very much. God bless you and be well, and hopefully we'll see each other soon.